Hello, my name's Victoria McDonough, and this is my internship presentation. I interned for the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Office housed at the New Hanover County Arboretum, and I was within the Ability Garden. The mission is to empower the underserved through gardening, education, inclusion, and community engagement. Their goals include promoting positive and life-affirming aspects of personal engagement through with nature using nature-based interventions. The key outcomes of these programs is to improve cognitive, emotional, social, physical, and mental skills. This is a nonprofit organization that's funded through other programs that house therapeutic horticulture interventions and nature-based interventions. People also donate plants and soil and trees and stuff like that in order to expand the Ability Garden. Therapeutic horticulture is what my site supervisor's program is based on, and it is basically an intervention program that's based on gardening and connecting with nature for individuals of all different needs. A little bit about the staff. Dr. Rich Bonanno is the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Director. He's in charge of everything in the state. Lloyd Singleton is the director for New Hanover County's office. I've had the pleasure of working with him pretty frequently throughout my internship. He reports all of our affairs to Mr. Foudre and Mrs. Wurzbacher, the county managers. Miss Heather, the program agent at the Ability Garden, is my site supervisor. As I said earlier, she does all of her interventions based on therapeutic horticulture. Elizabeth Stratton is another program assistant that I worked closely with and have shadowed her at workshops, and she's also helped me lead workshops. And lastly, Mary Beth, she's an admin and receptionist, and I helped her a lot with the gift shop and everything pertaining to that this summer. As far as my role, it's essentially my role is to serve as a program assistant. Um, as far as my daily routine, every single day I would water the plants all throughout the greenhouse and throughout the facility. I would do research on the plants that I would come in contact with every day and get to know their care, what kind of watering they need, sunlight, and soil. I did a lot of online work creating Canvas sheets for my site supervisor, Google presentations, and spreadsheets. I created a lot of lesson plans. I was responsible for preparing materials for all the workshops and events that we'd be attending that day. Of course, greenhouse upkeep. I would do a lot of weeding of the plants. If I move my little thingy here, here's a picture of just some of the outside of the greenhouse of the plants that I would water. Other things that I would do is I would do a lot of weeding, like I said. I would do repotting, transplanting, reorganizing the greenhouse, sweeping, everything that would need to be done to prepare for the plant sale that occurs every third Saturday. And I was also responsible for making sure that the class in the outdoor classroom looked its best, including the area around it. So the outdoor classroom is where we house most of our workshops. So it was very important that it looks its best every single day. Some specific projects that I completed in my internship was when I first started, I was assigned to sit and watch about 60 news clips about the Arboretum that talk about either highlighting a certain plant or service that's going on at the Arboretum that day or week. So the purpose of this was to create a spreadsheet and write down the date, topic, and what was discussed. And the purpose was to basically highlight what's been talked about in the public recently and what other aspects need to be highlighted so that we aren't sending in news clips and information that's already been covered in the past before. So definitely a beneficial thing for an organization to do. Another project that I did was I implemented a system within the Arboretum based on styrofoam recycling. So I presented and got approved by staff to place a recycling bin in the common area. And every week I would take the styrofoam materials to the UNCW Recycling Center and keep track of how much has been recycled. And as of today, it's about 40 items. So that's really not bad for the time that I've been there. Pleasure Island Library, I created and led a workshop there. I created a lesson plan and everything, prepared the materials, and taught elementary students about apple seeds, their benefits, nutrition, and how to grow them. We did not have apple seeds available, so I gave them lavender seeds, but we learned a story about Johnny Appleseed, and all the students made apple bookmarks, as you can see here. And then lastly, the MLK Center, you'll see this little coloring sheet here that was provided to Rihanna and I. She's a fellow intern at the Arboretum. We created lesson plans and led a couple workshops at the MLK Center, one with elementary students, another for middle school students, about honeybees. And we talked about their life cycle, pollination, how they produce honey, and just their importance to the environment. We also had them make their own little bumblebees or honeybees out of these plastic cups. And that was a really fun experience as well. So this is just a kind of a glimpse of some of the things that I've been doing this summer. And I really liked doing these workshops and having the opportunity to lead them because I feel like it's given me a really nice opportunity to apply what I've learned in the classroom in real life when it comes to implementing and program planning. As far as my internship project goes, I chose to do a therapeutic horticulture intervention workshop that was provided for the New Hanover County Special Olympic athletes. So I had 22 athletes come to the Arboretum where I taught them about microgreens. We had mellow, confetti mix, and spicy salad. I talked about the differences, their nutritional benefits, and I taught the athletes how to plant them. So they all received Dixie cups or fruit clamshells where they put their soil in it. They sprinkled their chosen microgreen, sprayed it with water, and they were all allowed to take it home. And so because there was 22 athletes, they were split into 3 groups. So when they would be planting with me, the other 2 groups would be receiving a tour of the garden by one of the master gardeners. The whole experience was great overall. I had a lot of positive feedback from the representatives of Special Olympics, caretakers that were present, as well as my site supervisor. Everybody said that the program that I'm involved with and what I was doing was great, and they wanted to learn more and come back to the Arboretum. And honestly, I couldn't ask for a better outcome than that. So the only thing that my site supervisor did critique me on is to just ask more questions to the participants, keep them engaged. It really helps that awkward silence thing and to just be more confident. So overall, it was great. Miss Samantha, she was the representative from Special Olympics there that day, and she was very helpful in guiding me through the whole thing. And like I said, I got positive feedback. Everybody successfully planted their microgreen, and it was a really fun day overall. I'm very happy I chose this as my project. So as far as domains, assessing needs and resources, I definitely experienced this domain through all of the greenhouse work that I did, all the upkeep, and just all my experiences with plant care. Manage relationships with partners and stakeholders. I attended a staff meeting. I attended 4-H district activity day and numerous events led by either 4-H or the Arboretum. Obtain and disseminate health-related information. This goes back to my styrofoam project and all the research I've conducted for my site supervisor. Plan health education and promotion, administer and manage health education and promotion. Both of those go into all the lesson plans that I created, all the workshops that I led throughout my internship experience, all the activities that I created and led through, and basically all of the workshops and events that I was a part of. So overall, I feel like this internship really gave me a great look at the public health world. Some final thoughts. My biggest learning factor throughout this whole thing is learning how to work with different populations. So I had to learn how to just know how to communicate and approach young individuals who come from a rough home or face behavioral mental health issues. So it was definitely a big adjustment to learn how to communicate with these individuals in the best way possible. I added resilience in here because we had a few times where meetings would be postponed or events would be canceled. So I learned a lot about having a backup plan and how to adjust to changed events last minute. I really love how much I've learned about gardening since I've started. Before this, I was not very knowledgeable about how to take care of plants, and now I feel very confident about it. The worst part of this internship experience was how hot it was. in the summertime, it's not very fun being in a greenhouse, but I think if that's my biggest problem, I really don't have any complaints. And lastly, the biggest, my favorite part of this whole internship was attending the 4-H district activity day because I actually had an experience with a young student. He was about 8 years old who got very nervous before his presentation and he confided in me, and I was able to make him feel better. And I actually helped him with his presentation. He had some poster boards, so I helped hold them and hand them to him while he did it. And just seeing the smile on his face after and meeting his parents and everything after, it just reminded me why I chose public health. And that reason is to, I want to make an impact on others and to just make people happy and better. So overall, I feel like this experience has been great and I'm very grateful.